The NIS certainly thinks they're credible enough that they felt they had to make this statement. It's not very usual for the intelligence agency here to be publishing this kind of information. But they say that they believe ISIS has details on 77 different US and NATO Air Force facilities around the world, also individuals in 21 different countries, including South Korea. And they have publicized those details internally on their Telegram messaging service. They've called on their supporters to carry out attacks against the Air Force bases and also the individuals. There's one air base in particular that's mentioned here in South Korea, Osan Air Base, which is just about 60 kilometers or 40 miles south of Seoul. And there's also, NIS has mentioned one individual, a South Korean, who is from a welfare organization. They don't say why that person has been individually targeted. They say they are receiving protection at this point, and they have warned the US military here in Korea. And to show that it could be considered credible, certainly the US forces in Korea is taking it very seriously. They've just released a statement saying that US Forces Korea takes the safety and security of its installations very seriously, saying that they remain prepared to respond at any time to any emerging threats. Rosemary?
And Paula, why South Korea? What are authorities saying about that?
Well, certainly the statement seems to say that there are installations around the world that are being targeted. South Korea is among those that have been targeted, and it is, of course, the South Korean intelligence agency that's saying this. They also add that they have been having a problem with ISIS sympathizers recently. They say over the past 5 years or so, about 50 foreigners have been deported because they had links to terrorist organizations that the NIS believed. They also say two South Korean citizens were caught trying to join ISIS. In fact, at the beginning of last year, there was a teenager that traveled to Turkey, believed to be trying to get into Syria to join ISIS. At this point, authorities, the last we've heard, don't know where he is. They assume he could well be in Syria. So certainly this is an emerging problem for South Korea, certainly not on the scale that you see in other countries, but a threat that the South Koreans aren't used to. When they think of an attack on their soil, they think of North Korea. They certainly don't think of ISIS. But the NIS is pointing out that thought process has to change.